So lecture 11, today's lectures on determinant rank, rank of matrix and inverse of matrix. Now what is determinant rank? We see before that there are two type of rank, row rank and column. Row rank, column. So what is row rank? What is column rank? So if A is a matrix, say n cross m. So how many rows are there? N rows and m columns. Now if there are many really independent, say are many really independent rows, that means dimension of the row space of A, that is called row rank. Row rank of A. So what is row rank of A? Number of independent rows. That means the subspace of Rm, because the all the rows are from Rm. N khana row kintu m khana column, so number of coordinate in row is m. So element of the rows are the element of Rm. There are n rows, that means n vectors from Rm. The span, linear span is called a row space, and the dimension of the row space is a row rank. What is column rank? Similar thing. There are m columns, and each column belongs to Rn. Each column belongs to Rn. Again, similarly, what is column space? Column space is the subspace of Rn, subspace of Rn, generated by or spanned by all the columns, n columns, m columns. Now dimension of this, or number of maximum independent columns, maximum number, is called column rank. Now one more rank is there, is called determinant rank. That is, we know from our previous class, our 12 dekhechi eta. What is determinant rank? The maximum order of square submatrix which is non-singular. Maximum square. So it is 3 cross 3. So it is 4 cross 5. And there is 3 cross 3 matrix non-singular. 3 cross 3 determinant ache, eta non-zero. And all the 4 cross 4 are 0. So this is called determinant rank. What is determinant rank? Determinant rank is the maximum value of, or maximum order of a minor, is also called minor submatrix square, the determinant non-zero. It is determinant rank. Now the important thing is these 3 ranks are equal, and this is called rank of a matrix. Rank of a matrix is nothing but the common value of these 3, column rank, row rank, and determinant. Now why these 3 are equal? It's a very important question, why these 3 are equal. Before that, what is called full row rank and full column rank? If the row rank is n, number of rows, that means all the rows are independent, then it's called full row rank. Full row rank means all the rows are independent. Similarly, full column rank means all the columns are independent. All the columns are independent. It is clear that the determinant rank, which is a determinant rank is D. row rank say R and column rank say C. D is less than or equal to minimum of M and N. It's clear. Because we can't find, if there are say matrix is 4 cross 6 matrix or 6 cross 4, we can't get a square matrix of order strictly greater than 4. Similarly, R also less than minimum of M and N. Why? Okay, let's take first N is smaller than M. N is strictly less than M. Now, number of row which is independent must be less than R, must be less than N, because N is the number of rows and R is the number of independent rows. So if there are say 4 cross 6 matrix, there are 4 rows, each are from R to the power 6. Now if there are 4 rows, there can't be 5 independent rows. So less than 4, less than or equal to 4. But in the other way, if there are 6 cross 4, if there are 6 rows and each row is from the R to the power 4, 6 cross 4 matrix, then why it is less than 4? Not is obviously less than or equal to 6, but it is less than or equal to 4 also, because the vectors are from the rows vector are from R to the power 4. In the vector space is R to the power 4. If I take more than 4 vector, it can't be the subspace generated by that n vectors can't be greater than 4. So it is less than or equal to 4. So minimum of M and N. Similarly, similar logic shows that C is less than or equal to minimum of M and N. That is clear. Now, why these are equal? That's the important question. Because something is unusual that row rank. Why should be row rank will be same for same as column rank? Say it is say 4 cross 6 matrix. So there are 4 rows from R to the power 6. Number of independent rows, why they are equal? There are 6 columns, each from R to the power 4 now. That the columns and rows are from the different space, different vector space. Why the number of independent rows and independent column will be same? Now this can be slightly complicated, but you can link with determinant rank. That will be easier. You just link with first determinant rank, show that the row rank is equal to determinant rank, and similar manner you can easily show that column rank will be same as determinant rank, because it is similar way. So can you show that row rank is same as determinant rank? If we can show that row rank is same as determinant rank, then it is other thing is column also equal. Similar way, the relation between the determinant rank with row rank is similar manner we can relate the column rank with the determinant rank. Now why this determinant rank and row rank will be equal? Consider say there are 4 cross 6 consider a 4 cross 6 matrix. Now if say there are say 3 independent rows, row rank is 3. Now since there are 3 independent rows, now each 3 are from R6. Now if we take these 3 rows, the first 3 rows are independent, and if you go to the row reduced echelon form of these 3 rows, and you know this once you through the row reduced echelon form, this rank or independence does not change, and you will actually get after row reduced echelon row reduction, you'll get a identity matrix here. 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0. And actually no need of echelon form. You can actually here it is a number of row is 3, number of columns is more than 3. That's why you will get a row reduced echelon form. Otherwise, it may not be row reduced echelon form. Maybe something like that. 1 0 0. Maybe the next one is 0 0 0, 0 1 0, then 0 0 1. So actually, no need of getting the first 3. Actually, you will this will get the row reduced echelon form. Better you don't change the rows. You avoid this operation, interchange 2 rows. Then it is not may not be this, but maybe this type of thing. Maybe some zeros columns are somewhere, 0 rows are somewhere, something like that. You just then consider where these leading ones are there. You take that rows and that columns, the leading ones. And obviously in the leading one, this part, this first, second and fourth rows and first, third and fourth rows, this 3 cross 3 matrix, submatrix is obviously identity matrix, because the leading one means all the belows and all the above are zeros. That's why it is maybe identity, may not be identity. Actually, maybe something like that. Maybe something like that. 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0. Not identity, but it's just an elementary matrix. Now consider that operations from where the operations starting from A, we finally reach in this matrix where this submatrix is a elementary matrix. Now take that positions here, the initial matrix. Forget about the others. Now this 9 element actually transform to this 9 elements, 3 0 1 and 6 zeros. And since it gives a elementary row operations, a determinant of this submatrix 3 cross 3 of the A, determinant will be maybe changed, but the non-singularity, if it is 0 then it is 0, if it is non-zero then it is non-zero. So since after row operation this will get a non-zero determinant, start there is a non-zero, a non-zero non-singular submatrix. So that means the determinant rank, if row rank is 3, determinant rank cannot be less than 3. We already get a 3 cross 3 matrix, non-singular submatrix, but it may be 4. Can it be 4? No, it can't be 4, because it can't be more than 3, because in that case, actually after reduction, row reduced echelon form, you will get a 4 cross 4 at elementary matrix, submatrix. And if you take the corresponding entries in A, you will get a non-singular submatrix, because it is starting, it is singular. After row reduction, row reduced, given some elementary operation, row operation, it can't be non-zero, that matrix. So that's give the idea, if some determinant, a 3 cross 3 determinant has non-zero, then after row reduced echelon form, there is a 3 cross 3 non-zero matrix which gives some 1 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 1 in some order, and never get more than that. You can't get, if there are no 4 cross 4 determinant, non-zero determinant, submatrix is non-zero determinant, then it after row operation, that never we can't get a 4 cross 4 non-zero determinant. So if we can't get a non-zero determinant with 4 cross 4 submatrix, then it can't be, the 4 rows can't be independent. Because if 4 rows are independent, that means there is a 4 cross 4 submatrix. Because in the echelon form, we reduce to the echelon form. So if there are 4 non-zero rows, that means each rows must have a leading one. We know that all the non-zero rows have the leading one. 4 rows are independent means the independent rows, it can't have a 0 rows. The 0, if there is a null vector, can't form a independent set of vector. It can't be a member of independent set of vectors. If there are 4 rows are independent, then this 4 rows must be non-zero. That means there is a leading one, and in that leading one, take that leading one, take that rows, and the leading one, that corresponding columns will get a 4 cross 4 non-zero, non-singular submatrix, and correspond that submatrix in A will give you a 4 cross 4 non-zero, a non-singular submatrix. Similar idea for, it is not only for, it is 4 cross 6, it is also 6 cross 4 also, it is same idea. So whatever, the number of rows is bigger than number of column, or number of rows is smaller than number of column, or maybe equal. In that case, this will be same. And so in a similar way you can prove that full is a column rank will be same as determinant rank. It's a very crucial idea, because sometimes checking with determinant is easier. Sometimes finding some number of independent rows is maybe tough some case. Finding dimension, eventually we can also find dimension of subspace, some subspace, not in the form of matrix. So if there is a given subspace is there, we have a R to the power say 6, and we have say 5 vectors in R to the power 6, and I ask you, someone asks you that what is the dimension of this subspace generated by these 5 vectors. What will do? You put in the rows this, and you will get a 5 cross 6 matrix, and find the determinant rank. If you show, you can show that by some tricky way or some easier way, that okay, there is a 3 cross 3 matrix, submatrix is non-singular, and every 4 cross 4 is a singular. Somehow we can, if you can, then you can easily say that by using the determinant rank, this is rank is 4. So number of independent rows is therefore 4. So some question may be easier to solve using that determinant rank. Some may be easier to solve directly with row or column. The idea of row or column is same. Determinant is slightly different. Now the another thing is called right and left inverse. It is actually in the group theory. If G is a group with some composed binary operation, then if say is element of G, and if there is element A dash belongs to G such that A dash is E is the identity of G, then A dash is called right inverse, and if A double dash, this is called left inverse. Now there may be right inverse, maybe several left inverse, may not be unique. But if right and left both inverse exist, then this must be inverse, and that is unique. If A has a right inverse and A has a left inverse, both exist. If both exist, I say two different. If one exists, the other may not exist. Why? Why then they are equal? Okay, this is clear. It is E, and if A double dash exists, compose on the left side, P multiplied, and you just take the associative property using associative property. This is just sorry, this is A double star or double dash. This is A double dash. Now this is E. So A dash, A double dash. So if right inverse and left inverse both exist, then they must be equal. But it doesn't prove that right inverse is unique. It is proof that left and right are equal. Now you can easily prove that all the left are equal or the right are equal, and they are unique inverse. Why? Okay, you have a say n set of right inverse, and there are m set of left inverse. Now these two are equal because this is the left inverse, right inverse is the left inverse. Similarly, the A1 dash and A2 double dash is equal. Similar logic. So A1, these all are equal to the A1 dash. Similarly, these all are equal to the A1 double dash. And then in that case, we say it is just A inverse, and it is unique. But maybe left inverse exists, right inverse does not exist. Maybe right inverse exists, left inverse does not exist. And in that case, that is not unique. There may be more than one right inverse. Obviously, in that case, left inverse does not exist. But in matrix, there is a much more complicated thing. So maybe say there is a M cross N matrix, and you have a matrix B which will give identity in M, identity of order M. Now this is a right inverse. Now it may so happen that there is another matrix C that is identity N. Now C is now left inverse. Now, if M and N are different, can I say that these are identity inverse? M and N are different. If both exist, B and C, then B and C must be equal. Same logic. If B and C both exist, then B and C both equal. It may so happen that C exists, B does not exist. It may so happen B exists, C does not exist. But if B and C both exist, then this must be equal. Why? In similar way. It just this equation, first relation multiplied by P multiplied by C. And you will get B equal to C. But the problem is these two are not same identity. So can I say these are inverse? No, we can't say. We can't say these are inverse. So B is same as C. And B is right inverse and B is also left inverse. But it is not inverse because M and N different. So inverse, it actually inverse means this whole thing. A inverse A is equal to A inverse. So AB must be equal to B is BA. So it may so happen that AB is equal to IN and BA equal to IN. The question is, can it exist? If AB equal to IM, is there exist some B such that this may happen? We don't know. Still, we don't know whether this is happen or not. But there's we can't say it is not true. From this we can't say that M equal to N. It needs a proof. It needs a proof whether it is M equal to N or not. There's a question whether if AB equal to IM and BA equal to IN. The question is, there are two questions. Is M equal to N? If M equal to M, then B is obviously inverse. Then we say if left and right inverse both exist, in that case A must be a square matrix, and that inverse is the matrix. The left or right inverse is the inverse of the matrix. But if I say, okay, no, M may not be equal, then you have to find an example such that AB equal to say IM, B equal to IN, and M not equal to. In that case situation, if such a AB exists, in that situation B is called, or A is called left as well as right inverse of B, but not a inverse of B. Similarly, B is a left or right inverse of A, but not an inverse of B. So definition of inverse is not just a right and left inverse. If something is left and right inverse, it is a inverse in that matrix case, not in the group case, because in the group case there's a because these are not from a group. This AM, all the matrix of the form AMN, M cross N matrix is not from a group, because if M and N are not equal, then the operation is not defined. But we can define right inverse of the matrix, because there are two different identity elements, because it's not actually group at all. In group, there is must be the identity must be equal, the unique identity. It's not a group. So, but we can define left and right inverse of a matrix in this manner. The question is such as can there be two matrices AB such that AB is identity, BA is identity, but still AB not equal to BA, because the order is different. So think on that. The next thing is permutation matrix. This is very important. What is permutation matrix? If there is a identity matrix, and if you permute all these rows or columns, same thing. So this is an elementary matrix. We know if we give an elementary operation, there are 3 elementary row operation or elementary column operation, same thing. The elementary row operation can be if you give a elementary operation, a row of column operation, and get a matrix, you can get the same matrix with the elementary row operation also. Now, if there are six different matrices with same rows, this is called permutation matrix. 6 permutation matrix. Only one row operation or column operation is you can apply, just a interchange of 2 rows or interchange of 2 columns. You can't multiply by a non-zero element. In that, the elementary matrix you can multiply by any non-zero element, or you can multiply it by a non-zero element and then add to another rows. That are all elementary matrix. So permutation matrix is some subclass of elementary matrix, and these are elementary matrix. These are using elementary operations, special type of only one elementary operation, which is interchange of 2 rows. Now, what is inverse of permutation matrix? Inverse of permutation matrix is just again a permutation matrix. Now, what is the determinant? Now, we know that if you operate to apply the row operation or column operation, elementary row operation, then determinant may be changed. But 0, if determinant is 0, then determinant will be 0. If it is non-zero, it can change anything. If the determinant is 1, you can take any value of the determinant, any -5 or 7. Just multiply it one row by -6. You will get the determinant -6. Now, if we apply only the row interchange, then that means if it is 1, it may be -1 or 1. So all the permutation matrix are either 1 or -1. Now you can little bit think, and you can easily satisfy yourself that elementary row, if you have a matrix is given to you, and if a successive number of operations leads to the B, the determinant of A and determinant of B, if one is non-zero, the other is non-zero. If one is 0, the other is 0. But determinant may not be the same. But you can think, and you can say that you can satisfy yourself that in some intermediate maybe C may be there, such the determinant of C and determinant of B is same. And from C to B, you have only this row interchange. That means then all operations are there. You can just give the row operation, row interchange last. There is a corresponding matrix C in between, where A from A you will get C. This A and C determinant may not be same, but C and B determinant is same or minus, or just a minus of that. And from C to B, you will get, you can just applying some row operation, just row interchange, that operation. Using row interchanging operation, you can reach from C to B. That means actually we know that every elementary row operation is a pre-multiplied by a elementary matrix. So after some step, maybe this is C. And again you are applying some operations, elementary operation. In which P, this is C. Now this F are elementary matrix, but it's a special type, only row interchanging. That means C and determinant of C and determinant B is just mod value is same. And this nothing, C is nothing but some permutation of rows or columns. Permutation of rows is same as permutation of columns. Now it just multiplied by some. Now this, if you take the product, this is again a permutation matrix. This is just a permutation matrix, product of some elementary matrix of the special type, this type, only row interchange. This is a permutation matrix. The permutation matrix may not be elementary matrix. Permutation matrix may not be elementary matrix. Maybe one you change, go to here, and you put your, this is top, and now this is your, this is a permutation matrix, but this is not a elementary matrix. You need two operations, and obviously the even odd permutation is there. Now the idea is these are all orthogonal, because orthogonal matrix are determinant 0 or 1 or minus 1. So what is orthogonal? A transpose A equal to A transpose. So if we apply only that operation of the special type, row operation, only interchanging of two rows, then you will get some orthogonal matrix. So in orthogonal matrix, actually we when we talk about this non-linear space, and I think the orthogonal matrix will be taken care in that area. So we know that orthogonal matrix is A transpose A equal to A transpose equal to identity. In that case, orthogonal matrix can be written as a product of elementary matrix with a special type of elementary matrix. These are all from starting from a matrix for a given matrix. Two orthogonal matrix can be reached with just given a permutation of sorry, in the other way, if a orthogonal matrix, and if you give a permutation of only the row operation, the interchanging of two rows, permutation, then it is again an orthogonal matrix. But from one orthogonal matrix to reach another orthogonal matrix, it is not only for the same order. We can reach using elementary operation, because the rank are same. But you need some other operation also. Later we will see this. And rank of product matrix, you know what is the rank of product matrix? There are some upper bound and lower bound on this rank. What can I say about rank of A multiplied by B? It's just the less than or equal to the minimum of row of A and And there is an important theorem. It's called Sylvester theorem. Is very important. This rank of A into B is greater than or equal to, this is the upper bound and this is a lower bound. This is like a union bound, something like a probability of A union B, something like that, minus n. Actually, not a union bound, it's actually a Boole's inequality, that probability of A intersection B is probability of greater than or equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus n minus 1, something like that. And then one more inequality is there, Frobenius inequality for 3 matrix ABC. This is just rank of AB plus rank of BC, is not C, BC minus rank of B, common part. You just check it for, you can get the proof in Rao of Bhimashankaran. You just take the proof from there. It's not difficult, and there is an important law called row cancellation law. The row cancellation law is this: if ABC equal to ABD and row of AB equal to row of B, then BC equal to B. So row cancellation. Similar for the left side. If CBA equal to DAB and the row of AB equal to row of A, then CA equal to D. This proof are left as exercise. These 3 proofs: this cancellation law, Sylvester's law, and this lower bound, upper bound, and this low cancellation.